Have any of these pilots or occupants of these craft, to your knowledge, been taken alive?
Yes, and I know people who have had direct interactions.
What's up, guys? Back at it again, making a video here. Have my cool shades on, hurt my eyes last few days being out in the sun, but anyway, check it out. Grusch admitted on the Dr. Phil show that occupants have been taken alive. Again, occupants, aka aliens, have been taken alive. The government's been covering it up. So let's just go back to the best case, the bestest of the best case ever, Roswell, my favorite case. I'm just going to place, if I had money to place on it and a bet with someone, I'd say like, yeah, let's place money on Roswell having live occupants being taken alive there. I've read the accounts. People have said that occupants have been taken alive from there. There was at least like one survivor.
This picture was drawn by an Army surgeon. These are one of the bodies that was recovered in the famous Roswell incident of 1947.
Tell us about that.
It was the first flying saucer that crashed and was recovered by the Army. It was covered up. There has been several books about it. They recovered 4 beings, and one of the surgeons that was responsible for the autopsy drew that picture and came up with some of these interesting things in the autopsy. I'll just read a couple. 3.5 to 4.5 feet tall, 2 round eyes without pupils, no earlobes, nose is vague, neck described as being thin, arms is described long and thin, reaching down to the knee section. You can see that there's a webbed portion in the hands, no teeth, no apparent reproductive organs, brain and capacity unknown, colorless liquid prevalent in the body without red cells, no lymphocytes. And there's more in that particular report.
This is an autopsy report. Now, you said the government goes to great lengths, the Air Force in particular, to discredit this kind of stuff. Where did this come from? How did you get this?
That came in a private, that came from the private collection of Leonard Stringfield, who was one of the premier researchers. He worked for the Air Force in the...
Then there's one Kingsman, Arizona. I believe there was like J-Rod or something that he survived. It was an alien, supposedly like telepathic and could like... not teleport, but could like, you know, bounce around the room and like, you know.
He was the one that named them EBEs. And it stands for extraterrestrial biological entities. We captured 3 live EBEs. They were numbered in their order of capture: EBE1, EBE2, and EBE3.
Where did we capture? Where did this happen?
In different crashes. EBE1 lived with an Air Force colonel between 1949 and 1952. The EBEs are kept in an electromagnetic facility called a YY-2. It was designed by a Dr. Eric Wang, who worked directly for Dr. Kissinger, who has been in this cover-up since the very beginning. The reason they had to create an electromagnetic facility is the fact that the EBEs are so advanced. They're at least 500 million years advanced from us, and probably more. They can move by thought.
Move by thought.
And they can also disappear. But they can't move by thought through electromagnetic facilities. So they built this facility. There was 2, one in Los Alamos and one either at Edwards or up at the test site.
At Groom Lake, Nevada.
At Groom Lake. Now there's still one EBE still living, EBE3, and there is a videotape that eventually is going to be released to the public, and it's an interview with him. As hard as that may sound, as hard as that may be to believe, there is a videotape of an interview with EBE3.
J-Rod is an alien who allegedly worked at Area 51 over a period of years, and it was J-Rod's mission or duty to help reverse engineer technology that was apparently from the 1953 Kingman UFO crash. J-Rod was one of the crash survivors and worked directly with our own government.
Well, could you estimate what his level of intellect was?
Smarter than me. He was smarter than me by a long range.
Did he have a wide range of knowledge?
The mathematics that he showed me blew my mind.
Was that right?
He showed me concurrently not only the equations for the rule of nines, but he also did so diagrammatically, and he did so with three-dimensional, like a VRML system, where I was watching cubes come together. So that if I was not understanding, apparently if I was not understanding the script, I would understand it as a child learns group theory in mathematics. Highly evolved, highly intellectual, highly repressed emotionally. When I was with him, I felt great happiness to be with him, but I could feel his great sadness, not only because of what he wanted to become, what he knew he was by being present with us, but where he was and how he was being treated.
But yeah, Grusch is admitting all this crazy stuff on the Dr. Phil show. And Dr. Phil out of nowhere, like, where is he getting these people? He's coming back from like his persona of being like an exploiter of human beings, you know, exploiting people on his talk show for like a drama and for views. He was doing all this like the clickbait stuff before YouTube, before social media. He was the guy that was doing that stuff. And he's bringing like all these sad stories of like people like running away from home or being bad teenage daughters, and then having them confronted on the show and trying to get like tears from them, or trying to have people feel sympathetic, or trying to make people feel bad for like the mother, or get mad at the mother, or like deadbeat dads. That's like his whole angle. But now he's supposedly a good guy. And he's like saying that he's saying that he wants to help people now through this transition period of accepting UFOs or UAPs, aliens being real. I think it's hilarious, but hey, that's Dr. Phil. That's money. That's freaking America. So that's how it goes. But anyway, so yeah, Grusch admitted this, that aliens have been taken alive. And I think that's awesome. So let's see here. There's other cases, like I said, Kingman, where there have been live occupants. Makes me wonder about the other one, Kecksburg. I haven't dwelled deep enough into that one, but I know per the accounts I've read that there was that craft that was taken, that Acorn craft, that it was retrieved. In terms of like live occupants, I know the witnesses, the ones I read about, it's mostly kids saying that. I don't remember anyone saying anything about live occupants, but Kecksburg makes me wonder. And then also on the Dr. Phil show, he's saying that NHI, they use telepathy. So they're telepathic. I'm guessing they can read our minds. And per the UFO counts that I've been reading actually this awesome book. If you can see it. If you can't see it, whatever, it's UFOs over California, and then pretty much just all accounts of UFOs and aliens, like encounters going in California, going back all the way to like the 1800s. There's like hundreds and hundreds of reports, all the way from like settlers, like people in the Wild West, 1950s, 1990s, etc. Santa Monica, Los Angeles, San Francisco, the whole gamut. It's actually in my neck of the woods too, Ventura County, Thousand Oaks area, and like Malibu area, Oxnard, California. There's a bunch of UFO. I didn't know that, but it's pretty cool. But anyway, I was just reading one last night, and they were saying, one of the reports saying that one of the witnesses saw a UFO hover above near him, like 200 feet away from him, and he heard in his mind that someone was saying, "Hey, we want to talk to you," or something to that effect, or pull over. Like he was driving in his car and they're saying like, "Hey, pull over, we want to talk." And he pulled over. He was like, "What the F?" And this was like in the 50s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So he just did it. He was just wondering like, what the heck's going on, but kind of crazy. And there's other encounters where people like, you know, the whole UFO program with the Jake guy, the guy that's creating his own company that's trying to like bring contact UFOs or trying to like control them. Supposedly, if they are telepathic, you know, what are they called? The people who are the experiencers. He's trying to like communicate with their mind to like call the UFOs, the UAPs down, etc. So they're telepathic. And then from the books I've read from the Blinky Dinky 182 guy, 182, pretty much they're saying that like the craft, it's actually driven through your mind. Like, you know, the crash retrieval program, like the spacecraft or whatever craft you want to call them, you can actually fly it. There's no physical controls. You're just using your mind. So it's like what Elon Musk is trying to do, but like on steroids. So pretty crazy. I think it's awesome. But Grusch, she's giving out some really awesome, like some really awesome gold nuggets here. And I love it. I guess like we like put some stuff here that you can check out, but I was going to say, so this disclosure stuff, like, I still don't think they're going to say, I don't think they're going to release anything just because, like I said it before, if they admit this stuff, if they admit that, you know, aliens are real, UFOs are real, when they've been covering it up for like 80 years or so, they're going to have to talk about the alien abductions. They're going to have to talk about the cattle mutilations, all the dark stuff, the stuff that no one wants to talk about, but it's there. And then people are either going to have to admit it, be like, hey, you know what? Some people do get abducted. Cattle gets mutilated. Why? I don't know. People disappear. That's the crazy part too. People disappearing. It's like, I didn't believe it. A lot of it could just be, you know, due to their own circumstance, you know, their own like errors. You know, maybe they're under the influence on a hike. They're on drugs, or they just lost their way. And if you go hiking out in the wilderness and then you kind of get lost, you can die. I mean, that's part of the game, right? So, or if you're like if you're on a boat or whatever, or you're on a trip and then you kind of lose your bearings, you know, that can happen too. You're out in the desert hiking. It's all like, you know, normal stuff. But then there's like disappearances of people just like, you know, disappearing for no reason. Makes me wonder. And I'm not one of those guys that believes conspiracy theories, except for this one. But like all that stuff, I thought was like, that's like Looney Tunes. Like, what the heck, get out of here. But there is that book, I think it's called like 411 or something like that, about people getting lost in nature. And then like, there's really no reason for it. I think that's like kind of a conspiracy, but who knows? I need to look into it some more. But important thing here, Grusch saying that live occupants have been taken. That's a huge first step. Now it's on to Trump. It's now Trump has to like do something, because like the topic keeps on getting hotter and hotter. It's like a drama. It's like Dragon Ball Z. Like next week on Dragon Ball Z, you're gonna have to like figure out like what's gonna be the next big scoop. I don't even know what can they say now. Like what's gonna be the next big thing? If they say occupants are real now, they're gonna say like alien hybrids are real. No. They'll never say that. But I think it's awesome. I think it's really awesome. Telepathy, that's a big one. So they're more advanced than us. And then there's like multiple species. There's like grays. There's reptilians. Tall whites, tall grays. Insectoids. Whatchamacallit? The ones with the pincers. I always forget that one, but it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. But anyway, so yeah, it's different species. People say there's like 80 different types of species that they know about. I think there's at least like 4. But the praying mantis, there we go. It's crazy though. So I think actually the genie is getting out of is being released. Can't really like control it anymore. I think too many people believe in this stuff. And the people who don't at this point probably are just religious. They're probably just thinking like, hey, you know, it's against my religion, or I'm going to feel sad or scared. And you really shouldn't feel so scared. I mean, if they're real, I mean, just so be it. I'm like okay with it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so what? There's other alien races, people more powerful than us, smarter than us, more intelligent, more advanced. Hey, that's nature, right? If they've been around longer. So I guess people are probably worried about like maybe domination, like getting invaded. That's not, I don't see that happening. If they would have done that, they would have done it already. I mean, they've been visiting us for thousands of years. If we look at the historical account, since like we're in like in the primitive stages, like since we're like cavemen. And then there's like accounts of them being seen by like the Romans, Europe, the Aztecs, the Incas. So different stages of our civilization. They could have easily they can wipe us out now easily too. And that whole, like, all the movies make it seem like we have a chance. Like, I remember I was going on a ChatGPT and I was asking it, why is Independence Day, like, so unbelievable? And it was, ChatGPT was just saying, like, yeah, if aliens really wanted to, you know, decimate Earth or take out human beings, they wouldn't even have to be near our orbit. They wouldn't have to be so close to our weapons. They could just like shoot it from like thousands of light years away. Just even like tear us up with like lasers or whatever weapon they have, or send an asteroid our way. Just totally wipe out all humanity and all living creatures. I don't think they'd wipe out the creatures though. Maybe they just take us out. They see us as a threat. But yeah, they could do it from so far away. There's no way we could touch them or send nukes or anything. We're done. So there's no, and they don't have any reason to do that, like knock on wood. But yeah, so there's nothing to fear there. And then even if that is the case, I mean, not to be so like fucking crazy or like, you know, intense, but like, even if that is the case, man, dude, that's kind of life, dude. Like if that happens, you just have to accept it. Just make sure you, what's that one guy from Active Self-Defense? Like that one guy, like, make sure you live like a proper, like, you know, spiritual life. Make sure you say you love your loved ones. Make sure you say that to your loved ones, that you love them, etc., which you should be doing. But anyway, so kind of have to, you know, take it as it is. But I don't see that happening at all. That's like 0.1% chance of that happening. 1% chance max, maybe. But anyway, so yeah, awesome news. Grusch admitting the stuff. Just want to post that. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that's pretty cool? I think it's awesome. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I love to answer questions. I'm going to post another video. I read an awesome book. This one's called Origins, talking about like interdimensional beings. I think there's different categories. Interdimensional beings, extraterrestrials, and then maybe something in the middle. The people are saying time travelers. I don't know what the heck. I need to get more into this. I'm like deep, but I'm not like deep. And like people are talking about time travelers, and I know like interdimensional Skinwalker Ranch. That's where that comes about, right? Interdimensional beings, where like, you know, they can materialize themselves as orbs, plasma, and then kind of like mess, like poltergeist activity. They can mess with you, turn off the lights, or have things thrown around, or make things like kind of move around, like at the ranch. If you watch that show, you know what I'm talking about. So then UFOs. That also makes me wonder too. There's an awesome movie I was going to check out. It's called The Mothman Prophecies. It sounds like it's another like Skinwalker type activity, where the Mothman Prophecies, you don't know, was about like the Mothman was like some sort of creature that was seen in some like city on the East Coast. I think it was Jersey. It wasn't Jersey. It's somewhere up there, but like it was seen in the like East Coast city, somewhere over there, Midwest, like in the 1960s. Was like kind of harassing the town, kind of like scaring people, and like kind of like, I guess it was like attacking animals. They said it looked like a giant moth, but then they said at the same time, there's like really spooky activity, like poltergeist activity being seen around town, also UFOs. So all this stuff is interconnected. So again, if you guys have any questions or comments, like help me out, because I'm trying to get a better understanding of this stuff. This is like a huge puzzle where there's like different like puzzle pieces, and there's like seriously like 1,000 different pieces. And there's like no help in knowing what the actual picture is. Like there's not some sort of like picture you can look at and be like, oh, this looks like that. You're kind of figuring it out as you go. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love to hear it. And yeah, here's the update. There you guys. Peace.